Good evening. It's 8 o'clock. It's Sunday night. It's the 9th of November. And to all those people out there having fireworks nights, be safe and I hope you're enjoying yourself. This is episode 94, where we go back to our roots and we have a little deep dive on a little project called Dragon's Lair, and Draco is coming on. So he's going to give us a bit of a lowdown on what's happening and any developments. As ever, please like, share the space. If you like what you hear, you can go to our YouTube channel and listen to our previous shows. There is 94 of them, and they're pretty good. Rayleen is doing a sterling job as ever, and she's putting on some good content. And please, subscribe to our channel because it really helps us grow, and it really helps what we're doing. So, and especially if you like what you hear. So share the spaces, like and comment. Any comments for tonight, put them on the comments box. We read them out. Or if you're brave enough, stick your hand up and we'll get you up. So tonight we've got a reduced panel. Dan, I don't think is around tonight, but we do have, as ever, the lovely Live Free, Magic Mike, and Wicked Wes when he decides to show up. And we'll see what happens. So without further ado, Magic Mike, are you going to do the markets?
You know what? If I was on camera, I would actually treat you all and I'd do a Magic Mike dance. But lucky enough for you, beautiful people out there.
Oh,
I'm not on camera.
Would that be in the Speedo too, or what?
Oh, it would have been the works. It would have been the works.
Oh my goodness!
I could just imagine it as well, Mike. Suddenly, I feel very ill.
I mean, yeah, no, it would have made a lot of people very ill. All right,
drop us these markets, big boy.
All right, so we're into the markets. You know what? When we were talking before, and I was saying about Bitcoin being $101,000, I didn't press refresh. So I was looking at old charts when I must have looked at it before. So I'm so glad I didn't. I pressed refresh.
The idea is you do up-to-date markets, not 6 days.
Right. Right, guys. So here's the up-to-date markets with up-to-date relevant prices. All right. So we've got Bitcoin at 104,947. It's down on the 7-day by 4.72%. It's up on the 24 by 2.84%. I think, it's obviously doing better than from what I refreshed. Ethereum, the number 2 spot, $3,585, down on the 7-day by 6.95%, up on the 24 by 5.73%. We've got Tether, because anyone want to guess what Tether's at?
No.
$1? That's a trick question, man. That's a trick question.
Actually,
0.92.
0.99. I don't think there's any stable coin that's ever been $1, is there? I don't know. All right. So yeah, that's Tether. XRP, the one everyone wants to hear about. People love it or they hate it. It's a bit like Marmite. But I think people are hating it at the minute. That's $2.35. And it seems to be bouncing between 220, doesn't it? 220, 235. It seems to be between that at the minute. We're down on the 7-day by 5.45%, up by 3.45% on the 24. BNB is $1,000. $1,005 BNB. BNB just seems to just keep going up and up, doesn't it?
Where did that come?
Yeah, it's mad. BNB just seems to always doing right. So that's down 6.74%, up 1% on the 24. Solana, $166, down by 9.66% on the 7-day, up by 5.55% on the 24. USDC, it's $1. USDC is $1. I eat my stable coin words. That's doing right. Tron, TRX, 0.29 cents. down by 1.07% on the 7 day, up by 0.63% on the 24-hour. Dogecoin, how the hell Dogecoin is still in the top 10? Bloody hell. So Dogecoin down 1.70% on the 7 day, up by 2.85% on the 24. And then the old faithful number 10, Cardano, 0.58 cents, down 2.27% and up 4.01% on the 24. So they're your top 10.
Well, there you go. I mean, I'm glad you refreshed your button, mate.
So am I. We would have been boring a lot of people.
Nice and accurate to the minute. Right, so Mike and Live Free, we're going to have to hold the fort for tonight. So what nuggets you got tonight? You got any nuggets?
There is.
Come on, I hope you've done some research tonight.
You know what? There's something that I keep. It kept coming up on X, and I didn't click on it. But Trump's done something.
You just cut out, mate. Sorry. He's done something,
right.
has he?
Oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me, guys? Yeah, sorry, it was reconnecting. Yeah, he's done something as usual. He's done something. But what? So he's.
Are you asking what he's done, or are you just leading to it? Are you hinting to us?
Well, I was going to sort of hint. I was going to throw it out there and give a little hint of what I think he's done. He's probably done something towards some tariffs. Am I right?
Well, what is recently going around is that he said that he is going to give a $2,000 bonus or gift to all the citizens.
I should have led with that because that was more of a green nugget. That was a better nugget.
Did you have that nugget that you were going to talk about, or what?
No, yeah, I knew about the $2,000, but yeah, I should have led with that. Go on, Live Free. You take it. Take the stage, my son.
That's it. That's supposedly that's what he's going to do, and everybody's so excited because they were comparing the money that was given during COVID, which was a $1,200 stipend check, to most citizens, and then after that, the market picked up quite nicely. So they're thinking that with the $2,000 stipend check, the market should perk up quite nicely, or even better than in 2001. So we'll see. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, you just never really know. The thing is, I don't know if this has to be approved through the Congress, and right now the Congress is shut down, or if this is just an executive order that can be just signed by him, and then the money printers turn on for that to pass out the stipends. I don't know exactly how much because it's still up in the air. Nothing has been finalized, but they're certainly pushing that a lot, so people start to FOMO in, I guess. I don't know.
Are there things that you can and can't spend the money on?
No, it's just cash. It's just straight cash. They send you a like last time, the voucher or whatever, or stipend. It's a $1,200 check. You deposit in your bank and you spend at will, as you choose. You can buy $2,000 worth of Speedos for you, Mike. I don't know.
Well, boys, I've got 3 nuggets to drop. Well, one is kind of an apology nugget, but I've got 3 nuggets to drop. All right. So, but the first one is.
What have you done? What have you done?
Well, just facted myself, really. So, did you know my first one is a factual nugget? All right. So my first nugget is: did you know that in your Zaman wallet you can have 59 language settings, so making it usable worldwide? Did you know that? And we are not sponsored by Zaman Wallet, by the way, but I just thought I'd let you know that. Isn't that an interesting fact that you can use 59 different languages to set your wallet up? How cool's that?
Do they have the dragon language?
No, live free. No.
Oh man, come on. Draco's going to get pissed off.
Well, I'm sure Draco can have a little chat with them. But yeah, my other nugget, right? On previous shows, this is a disclaimer, by the way, boys. On previous shows, it was stated that an ETF for XRP would be coming on certain dates. Well, we're still waiting. I do apologise, but that's a bad nugget because it's not happened, and there's been so much hype about stuff. It really is frustrating, but I still see hype about ETFs for XRP, and now even Flair. Flair is meant to have an ETF, but I won't hold my breath, and I won't tell anyone any dates because they're likely to be wrong.
Well, word on the street on those ETFs is that they're supposedly going to open up the U.S. government again next week. But then again, that's political
Do you
speak.
think?
So who knows? So with this, they're supposedly going to just, sign all those ETFs at the same time. I am not sure how true
So they
that
would.
is.
So what you're saying is they would have happened if the government was open.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. At least
There you,
some.
there you
At
go.
least
So
some.
it's not totally my fault then. It's the government. How about that? Eh? That's surprising.
Well, I don't know, Palace. I think the government does listen to our show and then it reacts accordingly.
That's what I was
Probably.
thinking.
Yeah, they probably
He stuffed it
subscribe.
up. He stuffed it up for all those millions of people
Yeah.
because of what he said
Yeah.
last time.
Well, they know Rayleen does such a good job. They probably subscribe to our YouTube channel as well and listen to all the shows. Don't you think?
100%.
Absolutely. Raylene
Right,
brings in the crowds.
Right, my last nugget, and this nugget is 100% kosher. Right, kosher. If you hold one XIO, you will get a weekly drop of XDX into your wallet, a percentage drop. That is 100% factual. As this show is brought to you by Fusion XIO, the sickest and the baddest, and I must say from personal experience, the easiest place to download and mint your NFTs using any asset. No other place does it on the XRPL. So go and have a look. Go and see what you think. Fusion is definitely the place to start sorting out your NFTs. It's growing daily, so go check it out. Anyway, without further ado, should we get Drago, the man, up? Hello, Drago. Open up your mic, my friend. Give us a dragon roar.
Hello.
Whoa!
I love it.
That included a little bit of dragon breath with it too.
Yeah, I think that
A
just
little
scared
bit.
my dog. That just scared my dog. My dog's cowering.
Hey, sorry.
Oh,
Hey, guys.
Drago, it's so good to hear your voice and your dragon roar, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing great. A bit tired and all. First of all, I just want to ask something. Is Daniel here?
Hopefully, he's going to be. Yeah, go on, live through.
I am sorry. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No. Is Daniel live here? I don't see him.
He is not on the show right now. He said he might be able to jump on. He's very busy right now doing the some updates for the all currency minting that's going to be available for Fusion. He's working with a whole bunch of developers right now. So
Wait, are you going to slag him off then, Drago?
No. I wanted to start. I wanted to start this live by apologizing to Daniel because I behaved a little bit bad with him. So here's my apologies, Daniel. Sorry. We will talk after, but at least it's recorded.
Drago, you have the whole audience at a disadvantage. They know no idea what you're talking about. So I think you should spill the beans.
That's right. This is a soap opera here, man. We want to hear it.
Yeah.
No. It's between me and him. If he was here, he would know why I'm apologizing, but at least it's recorded. So let's move on to.
Nicely swerved, Drago.
Oh man,
I love that. Very professional.
The dragon lost his nuts. Come on.
Yeah. You should be a politician, Drago. Very good. Right, so Drago, what's happening in Dragon's Lair? What's going on?
Okay. what I have to tell about Dragon's Lair, it's basically not good news. I wish it was, but since January until now, we had some issues with our smart contracts and everything related to that. So we cannot. We are under delivering our NFTs, and we came basically to a cul-de-sac, and we are going to shut down the Dragon's Lair. The project, as it is, as Web3 with NFTs included project, is going to cease to exist at the end of December. But fortunately, we have our other founder, which is the Wayteller, is listening. He came with an idea that we could transition the Dragon's Lair project and the community that wants to just basically move with the Dragon's Lair into his own project, which is the Etheric Emporium. So the project Dragon's Lair as an NFT project doing rebates on SGB that we have done already 2 at least. And with the hopes that one day we could create a game of some sort and use the NFTs for that game is not going to happen because it's been very difficult to manage the project without having the let's say a little bit of a support from our dev, which is caught up in his own endeavors now, and he's taking care of his family. So it's been a little bit weird, but and we asked the community, what should we do? Do you want to close the project now and we refund the entire SGB that we still have on our wallets to the community? Because it's more than fair that we just grab the SGB that we have and send it to those who have invested on Dragon's Lair, hoping that the project would go on for like 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years or so. And because that is not happening, we are now in the process of slowly shutting down Dragon's Lair as it is. We are telling the amount of SGB that we have in our wallets, so we have to undelegate the SGB, we have to claim rewards on noses, we have to move all the SGB into one wallet only, and then take some snapshots of the wallets that have our NFTs. Mainly, basically, it's going to be first the ones that are the Genesis and the Power NFTs, and we will see how much everyone is going to get according to their holdings, because we don't want to keep the SGB for us. It doesn't make any sense. So we are giving the money back. We are refunding everyone. It's not going to be the entire investment that the Horde of Dragons has invested on Dragon's Lair, because we had to pay for some expenses and the teamwork and the dev. So there was a lot of things that we needed to pay. But we expect that between 80, more or less like 80% of the SGB held on our accounts at this moment is going to return to the hands of the investors. They keep their NFTs. If they want to sell the NFTs, they are free to do so on the secondary marketplace. We get the royalties, and then the royalties will shift onto the Etheric Emporium. And what's going to happen is that anyone who has the Alpha Draconis Genesis, that was the first NFT that we released, they're going to get a specific amount of the native token of the Etheric Emporium. And there are, if someone wants to burn those Alpha Draconis, they will get specific NFTs from the Emporium also, which is something that the way Taylor said, okay, we can do this, we can transition this, and basically what's going to happen is that me and Taylor, we are going to work together. I will not be, sorry, once the Dragon's Lair is shut down in the end of December, I will be working. I will no longer be a founder of any project. I will just work side by side with the way Taylor, not as a founder, not as anyone, let's say, on a high role on the Emporium, but I'm going to work with the way Taylor, and we are going to start to write a novel based on the Dragon's Lair. So basically, we are keeping the spirit of the Dragon's Lair project alive, not as an NFT project, as I said before, but we are going to write a novel based on Draconia, the history behind Draconia and what happened to Draconia, and then the coming of the dragons with the hex into planet Earth. So something that we are going to work together, getting some of the narrative that has been written already during these last 2 years by me, with the revising and editing of the way Teller. And we hope that in the future we can probably release a book called Alt Mundi Draconia. Of course, that it's not the same thing as what I wanted for Dragon's Lair as a project, but since the project is going to end, we are hoping that some of the people that are currently on Dragon's Lair, they just shift and move with us to the Etheric Emporium. They end up taking a look at a new project, a very good project, in my opinion. And there they can still see a little bit of the Dragon's Lair coming to life, but in a different format, you know.
So I'll interrupt you there a little bit, Draco. I'm so sorry to hear that it's all gone a bit pear-shaped. I mean, and that's the reality of crypto, isn't it? It you know, some projects will do well, some will fall by the wayside, and some will evolve into something different, which it doesn't sound, you know, the end of the world. If you're going to evolve it into something else, then fine, that's great. What do you contribute the biggest failings to? I mean, is it because the devs couldn't do what you're wanting to do, or is it the crypto market itself, or what do you think went wrong?
It's I think it's not a question of what was wrong. I think it was because of the circumstances that changed during this year. We started the project with hopes that we could release NFTs, the power NFTs, every 3 other months or 4 months, every 4 months. And in the middle of those power NFTs, we could release the chain NFTs. And what happens is that our dev got a little bit caught up with life itself and his own life, his own work. So there was not enough time to dedicate to us because he also has other projects and stuff like that. So we ended up by realizing that we were under-delivering to the community. And for me, it was basically, I don't know how to put this in words, but I was not feeling comfortable with the fact that I was not keeping my promises to the community due to external factors that I cannot change. I I cannot tell the dev, listen, you need to do these, because I want it for the community. I made I vouched to the community that I would do these, but he has a life of its own. He needs to take care of his family, his kids. He's going through some problems in his own life, like everyone has. We are not immune. None of us are immune to that. I spent probably the first 5 months of this year completely away from Dragon's Lair because I was rebuilding a new house. I moved the house. I have a new house. I'm rebuilding the house, so I'm focused on rebuilding my house. But at the same time, I wanted the Dragon's Lair to keep evolving. But like me, he also has his own life. So if he cannot dedicate to himself to Dragon's Lair as we were used to, there's no point in trying to force something. And because I really trust him, and since the beginning, I really trusted him because he has all of our information, all the access to the smart contracts and accounts and blah blah blah. Basically, it's like this. Since I cannot have his work as we need, we might as well just shut the project down and move into another direction. And because I don't feel comfortable, I don't feel comfortable because we know that there are a lot of projects. Sometimes they change devs, and after there is a problem with the dev because maybe the team doesn't trust the dev, or they trust the dev, but all of a sudden there's a rug pull. So in order to avoid that, and because I trust the dev that we are working with so much, I'm afraid to change to a dev that I don't know and to risk the money, the SGB, that it's not mine, it belongs to the community. So I don't want to take that risk because it's my name on the cryptosphere that's on the line. It's the name of also the team on Dragon's Lair. It's the name of the Wayteller, and he's a founder of his own project, and a rug pull on Dragon's Lair would jeopardize him, would jeopardize everyone from the team. The community would not look at us the same way. So for me, making this decision is preventing myself to just fall into a trap, and I'd rather close the project, return the money to the investors, move the project into another project that I know it's a good project, it's a solid project, it's even now a company owned by the Wayteller. It's registered as a real company, and it becomes less stressful for me, less of a burden, and I don't need to worry about what could happen if we hire a new dev and all of a sudden I look at the accounts and everything is drained. That is my biggest fear, because I'm dealing with money that is not mine. There's a little bit of money in there that is mine because I bought my NFTs from the project. I'm the founder, but I bought from my own pocket the NFTs from our project. So I have money invested in my project also, and I don't want to get rug pulled. So if I don't want to be rug pulled, I'm sure not going to put a noose on my neck and wait for something to happen, and all of a sudden I hang myself and my name goes with it. So I think
I mean, I don't suppose there's any good way to close a project down, but to have the balls to come up here on a Sunday night and explain to the community about what's going on, I think hats off to you. So yeah, and I can hear the pain in your voice. Actually, I know we've spoken many times. I know your voice, and I can hear the pain in your voice about how it's gone. So I can only apologise. I mean, it's a shame. It's gutting, but I think these things will change, and you'll develop something else, I suspect. So just to be clear, I for one have got an NFT, a Dragon's Lair NFT. So what will happen to all the NFT holders? They'll get a reimbursement, will they, or something?
Yes. For example, I don't know how many NFTs do you have, but let's say that you have one Alpha Draconis only. For example, let's imagine that you just have one Alpha Draconis. You have bought the Alpha Draconis for 3,443 SGB. So you will get a percentage of what you invested. So, and then you can sell your NFT because probably you will gain a little bit more by selling the NFT because someone from the community wants to buy that NFT to use it on the Etheric Emporium and reap some benefits of the project being integrated now in a new project and doing things differently because I cannot tell you right now that you bought the Alpha Draconis by that amount that I said and I'm going to give you the 3,443. It's not possible because during this time we have spent money on Unreal Engine things that we needed. We spent money on the IPFS service. We spent money on the server where we have everything Dragon's Lair related, not the server on Discord, but the physical server that our dev has. The job that was the payment that we have done to the dev. So all those expenses, they came out of exactly the money from the investors. And because we were delegating and finding new ways to increase the SGB, this was something that was going to last for a long time if we kept selling NFTs. If people kept investing in our NFTs, we would have a lot more. And we know that when you get SGB or Flare, for example, you grow your bag and you also grow your rewards from delegations, from staking, from the monthly claims, the weekly claims, and it could exponentially be a bigger bag that we would use on rebates every month. But since now there is no revenue since the beginning of the year, there is no revenue at all, and we are stuck with what we have in the wallets, and we are going to reimburse everyone. And as I said, it's impossible for me to give 100% of what people invested, but at least what we are going to do is take the snapshots, analyze everything, tally how much SGB we have, doing everything on your noses, remove everything, swap everything to SGB, try to find out what's the amount, and then allocate a specific amount to each wallet. For example, I can see in the audience that there is a person called Maximator. He is one of our whales on Dragon's Lair. And of course that he's going to get what he invested, but not the full amount what he invested. And for that, I can only say I'm sorry, but it is what it is. He knows that a project has expenses with the team, with the dev, with the services and stuff like that. Everybody knows it. So what we are going to try to do is to just allocate the maximum SGB we can to all the wallets, taking into consideration the amount of NFTs that people have in their wallets. And after that, everyone is free to sell their NFTs if they want. and get a little bit money, bit back, because I'm not forcing anyone to keep their Dragon's Lair NFTs in their wallets. If anyone wants to sell, just go ahead, sell it, and just grab some more money for you, and someone will use those NFTs to invest on the Emporium if they want. For example, I'm going to be one of those who's going to try to buy Alpha Draconis, because I'm heavily invested on the Emporium, because I believe in the project. I'm very good friends with Taylor, and I want to continue my path on the Emporium. And I'm going to work a little bit with the way Taylor creating.
I mean, I for one, Drago, I actually bought the dragon because I liked the look of the art and the dragon. I didn't buy it for any other reason. So I'm quite happy to keep my Dragon's Lair NFT. But what am I going to be able to do if I keep my NFT? What will I be able to do with it with the Wayteller? How's that going to work?
How it works is that if you are a verified member of Dragon's Lair, once you enter the Emporium, you will get verified again, and you will receive an X amount of Aether token, which is the native token of the Emporium, which was a token created by the Wayteller to reward the holders.
Can I stop you right there? Where's that token at? Is that on the XRPL, or is that off of Songbird Lair? Where is that?
Songbird.
Okay.
So you'd need a Bifrost wallet to claim that livery, I think. Is that right, Drago? You'd need a Bifrost wallet?
No, any wallet is good enough, as long as when you enter, if you want to enter the Etheric Emporium, once you get a verification conducted on the Emporium's Discord, which is the Zarathustra bot, automatically it's going to look at whatever wallet you register there, and you are going to get the X amount of Aether token in your wallet.
Is there a way we could attach a link on the Jumbotron about how we do that, or where we go to link our wallet with the Wayteller?
To answer that question, I think that the Wayteller would be the person to speak. I think he's trying to speak, but he probably has some kind of issues. Sometimes he has...
I'm good. I'm here.
Hey, how you doing, Wayteller? Nice to hear your voice.
It's a pleasure to be back, gentlemen.
Thank
you. Thank you for inviting me up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit sad with the Dragon's Lair, but hopefully you can shed some light about how we can use the NFTs.
Yeah, well, I mean, the decision to close the layer is pretty fresh. So we kind of, between Draco and I, we're trying to work ways to make sure the transition, that the project just doesn't drop out and disappear. So yeah, Draco's already said there'll be as much of a reimbursement of the SGB funds as possible. The Genesis, the Dragon's Lair Genesis NFTs, I see as an opportunity for those holders to make a transition into the Emporium, which has a similar manner about it that the Dragon's Lair did, in that it's based around narratives and creation of myths and stories. So both projects share that in common. With the Dragon's Lair closing, we can take those narratives and some of the ideas behind the artwork and the NFTs. And to me, that's a very easy transition into the Emporium, because that's exactly what the Emporium is all about. Creating myths, and co-creating narratives. So, the whole idea about the Emporium is that the members, once they achieve a certain level in their roles, if that is what they decide to do, they can become co-creators of the actual narratives that I then publish as part of my own company into books, actual novels that go on sale. Now that's an early stage. So the Emporium project is a very, very slow burn project. And has been since its inception in 22. So using the Alpha Draconis, my thoughts were anybody that joins the Emporium, whether you're already in the Emporium or you're a new participant, I can take a look at your wallet, see how many Draconis you've got, and give you 100 Aether per Alpha Draconis in your wallet. The Aether token can be used to buy real world assets, such as, the books, that are being published, and other things that I've got in process as we come through into 2026. As part of that, one would also, once the Aether has been dropped into your wallet, if that person is interested, then I'm happy to trade, let's say 5 Alpha Draconis for one of the first, requisite NFTs a holder in the Emporium needs to have in order to progress towards becoming part of the narratives, part of the storylines. So ultimately, I'm hoping, and so is Draco, we are hoping that we can help folks or anybody in the Horde that wants to move into the Emporium to progress and get a kickstart from the NFTs they hold, the Alpha Draconis that they hold, kickstart their progress, for a straight trade, so to speak, into the NFTs that, will lead those people into, hopefully becoming part of the ongoing stories of the Emporium.
Let me ask a question. Before the Emporium idea came about, what was the objective of the Dragon NFTs? What were people going to do with those NFTs?
Draco.
Well, the initial idea with the NFTs was basically to create the best art that we could develop. And the creation of the NFTs, we had a little bit of a complicated system, but people seem to have liked the idea of the Power NFT and then buying the Chain NFTs that they could use to mint and shuffle their next Power NFT. So it's going. Sorry, just give me a little bit. Give me a little bit of time. Beijinho. Até amanhã. Dorme bem, filha. Tá bem? Sim. Vá. Tchau. Porta bem. Estou a falar com os senhores. Vá. Tchau.
Hasta mañana. Buenas noches.
Don't tell him all that.
Sorry, it's bedtime for my kid, and he came just. Where was I? Okay, the idea basically was that we were going to create NFTs. So the Power NFTs were basically the backbone of the story behind the Dragon's Lair, alongside with the Chain NFTs. But the Chain NFTs were basically burned to give you access to minting shuffle NFTs and regenerative NFTs on Dragon's Lair. And those NFTs, the Power NFTs, would be the ones that would go and get integrated on a future game created on Unreal Engine. As I spoke to Daniel, and basically was Daniel that was going to help us create that game with my vision, and also a lot of the NFTs that we were just minting ourselves and just giving them away for free to the community. And out of the blue, I can tell you that we have dropped around 5,500 free NFTs to our community. Those NFTs would be integrated into a game, and the game would be something like a mix of Unreal Engine with the NFTs being the cards that you play on a Magic the Gathering kind of game with your friends in a table, So you would use those NFTs with that they would be then, for example, let's say that you have a Genesis, we would create a different NFT, and if you had like 10 Genesis in your wallet, you would get a specific NFT that was like a card that you could use in game, and it would give you power as a persona on the game to play and conduct your mission alone or creating alliances with other people. But each person would have their own missions, and they would just play the game. Basically, you play the game for yourself. You find people that you know, for example, me and Teller, Maximator, Flary Dank, we could Altia, we could get together, create an alliance because we needed to defeat an army that was coming for us. We had our own dragons. We were the riders of those dragons. We would battle together. We would win the battle, and after that we said, okay, goodbye, I'm going on my mission. And there was this idea that was brewing in my head, where the NFTs would have like these power scores, ability scores, agility scores, firepower scores, and weapons and stuff like that. So it was basically creating a Magic the Gathering game, but inside an Unreal Engine game that you could play on your computer. That was the main goal.
Okay, so Mike, I know you have a hand up. Let me just finish my thought here, and then you can kick in, because we have a project going on DPMF. It's called the Megabits project, and I know you know about it because you said you bought the Dracobit Megabit.
Yeah.
So number 23. Yeah, you bought
exactly.
number 23. Yeah.
Okay.
So here's an idea I'm going to shoot at you, and I have no permission at all from Daniel, so I might get scolded later. So what if DPMF, within its Megabit collection, what if we are able to design for you a different collection, a collection of dragons? All with all those power scores, because that's exactly how the megabits work. We have all the metadata, and that gives all these scores, powers and energies and strengths and stuff like that. And you can then, on the side, within, let's say, your community, you can play each other. Now, the Megabits game is not designed for role-playing game per se. It's more of a battle each other type game. But I don't think it's going to prevent you from maybe forming groups and battling each other in groups. But we just don't have a role playing game as right now. Well, who knows what's going to come in the future? But this is just one of the options that you can add besides the Emporium. Y'all can get together at the Emporium and then say, you know what, we have 2 team members that want to battle each other. He has, Alpha Dragon and he has Beta Dragon, and they can battle each other or play with each other or whatever. And add just a little extra something, to the Dragon's Lair, shall we say. I don't even know if you're going to continue to call it Dragon's Lair. But that's always an opportunity, to create your dragons, via the Megabit program. And you can even choose to buy and sell those dragons, in any, it's gotta be an XRPL coin. But, what's to prevent you from, for the Emporium to not create an Emporium coin in the XRPL besides the Songbird, chain? So you can do that. And also it's also be game DeFi in essence, to where you can battle each other for crypto. So, the winner of the battles amongst the dragons can earn crypto. And so that how that's going to work, Daniel's going to have to explain that a little bit further once he completes that part of it, but we're pretty close. But that's an option, that's an option for you to come in. It's going to have to be under the DPMF flag, the issuer, the Megabit issuer, in order for it to work in the, Megabit program that he's designing, the app. If he's going to do it, or he may do it off of the Fusion website. He hasn't decided yet. But that's an option for you to look at in the future. Maybe you can create your 3D dynamic dragons, which allows that to be able to change the metadata, to make them stronger or to make them weaker, depending on how you bet, or how, if the losing dragon loses power, it'll change that power, decrease that power, and the winning dragon will increase this power. But just something for you to ponder upon and ask Daniel a little bit more on, that, since we are creating, different Megabit, animals, pets, or whatever, for different projects, maybe we can do something for the dragons. Maybe we can create a collection of dragons for y'all, that you can then use to play each other. You can maybe somehow attach this to your stories and say, hey, let's go to the battlefield and we're going to fight this out, as an option. It's like, all right, which pathway do we go on the stories? It all depends on, it's kind of like Dragon's Lair, the Dungeons and Dragons, it all depends how you toss the dice, is what path you followed. It's the same thing with this one. Maybe you can create something like that. It all depends on who wins the war or the battle is what path you follow. But just something to think about,
Yeah. It seems like a pretty interesting idea, but just I see that the Wayteller is raising his hand. I would like to hear from him first, please, if possible.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So first off, the Emporium is, my intention for the Emporium has always been a multi-platform, environment. So not just NFTs, not just, Songbird or Flare Network, but real world assets, actual books, actual merchandise, and indeed not just necessarily, fantasy or science fiction novels. So my idea or my desire is to run all sorts of different, workshops that I think are going to become necessary over the coming years as we collectively transition into something a little bit more, forward thinking than where we all have perhaps, been raised and taught. I mean, you guys, we've spoken at length in the past about, certain controversial, ideas and ways of being. And I think that within the Emporium that can be expanded upon, which I intend to do. Now, going back to what you're talking about and having a look at a different contract, a different usage of NFTs on the RPL, I don't see any problem with that, as long as it can be achieved technically. And as a certain person is very fond of saying, everything is possible in terms of DeFi, crypto, and coding. So, yeah, I like the idea. It can be a way of, again, continuing the expansion. And I've always been, very interested in what DPMF are doing, from the very outset. In fact, I tried to do a page turning novel, with the help of Daniel about 2 years ago. And at the time, the technology was too nascent for it to actually work. I believe that since then you guys have actually managed to achieve a lot more. So I'd be interested in that discussion, that's for sure. And certainly if it was helping Dragon's Lair and the participants there move into, something that they can enjoy, and something that they can get value out of, I'm all for it.
Well, good. I'm glad we could maybe help each other out in that situation. Again, I'm definitely not the final voice in this, but
No, sure.
that definitely is. It is going to be possible because that is what we're creating. That's exactly what the Megabit program is being created for you to have your dynamic, your 3D dynamic NFTs, play against each other, have them win and gain points and stuff like that. So I don't see why we can't do dragons as opposed to, we already have one, which is the Draco bit. That's our second one in our collection. So I don't see why we couldn't expand a dragon collection, depending on your designs. Yes, sir.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because, so in the Emporium, if one follows the roles and tries to gain, the ultimate role of becoming an Aethernaut and actually joining the narrative and being responsible for creating part of those novels. In order to do that, one needs to own a robe, you need to own a wand, you need to own various NFTs. Now, it would be wonderful if those magi actually had their own 3D Magi bit type NFT as well as a dragon. This is how maybe we can progress these things, through further discussions and just keep bouncing ideas off each other. I have no strong allegiance to Songbird, other than that it was there at the beginning, the inception of the Emporium. I love XRP, as everybody does, no doubt here, and Flare as well. So integrating all these different networks, I think, is the key.
Now, there's nothing preventing you from not being able to sell, or to transact or to play against each other via using Songbird. It's just going to have to be the Songbird on the XRPL, not the Songbird off the Flare chain. Mm-hmm. But you can still use Songbird, except it's going to have to be the XRPL Songbird.
Okay, well, I think we should bear this conversation in mind and see how it progresses, for sure.
Absolutely. Mike, you had a question. You had your hands up for a while, and I'm sorry I couldn't.
That's all right, guys. No worry. No, I put it down because I wanted the conversation to flow. Because my thing would have just sort of split everything in half. Don't worry, guys. Don't panic. Nothing bad's coming.
Oh, that's okay. You would just do a Wesley on us. That's all.
No, I was just reading the room. All right. So Draco, I just wanted to have a little heart to heart with you, actually. Because one, it takes, like Palace said at the beginning, it takes a lot of balls to
He
come on the show.
understands cojones better.
Cojones. You got a lot of cojones, man. Yeah, you got, it's not an easy thing to do. You've also, the way you're dealing with it's very commendable, very honourable. The way you're going to be, even though it's not the full amount, you will be reimbursing the community. And I just want to say, going forward, just as a project lead, as the creator of Dragon's Lair, don't let this little moment in time dampen your fire, excuse the pun, in what you're doing, because, things happen. All of this, it's a very tough industry. For the fact that you got into the industry in the first place is fantastic. And it'd be a shame for crypto as an industry to lose somebody who's, got the guts and the courage to even do a project. There's people out there that maybe have projects, but they haven't got the step. They can't take it to the next place because they haven't got the cojones to do it. But you've proved that, and you've done it. So going forward, don't be too hard on yourself. You're dealing with this in the best way possible. I mean, I've heard Way Teller, you as well, Way Teller. You sound like a really decent guy. I've heard you speak now. It sounds like this is a great transition. It sounds like a fantastic transition, especially with what, not to put anything on it, but what Lefree was saying. But yeah, it sounds like you're all right. Yeah, it hasn't worked out. Things don't always work out in life. That's a fact. But it's how we deal with it when it doesn't work out that matters. So carry on doing what you're doing. You'll be okay. This is just a moment in time. Where what is it? What they say in the galaxy, we're just like this little speck of dust in the whole of the galaxy. And right in this moment, there's a little group of us in this little space talking about this. Don't worry about it. I know it's probably been playing on your mind a lot, giving you a lot of stress, as it would. But, crypto, there's a lot of great people in crypto. A lot of people understand, innovation and doing projects like that. It takes guts, and you've dealt with everything up until now the right way. So I commend you for that. Also, I just wanted to say, so Way Teller, I just wanted to say, so with this new transition, is there certain socials that people should be keeping an eye on for this transition? Because obviously it's going to be going from Dragon's Lair over to the new system. What are the socials, and how is the transition going to be made? So, because I feel like there's a lot of people that are going to want to know where to go, what to keep an eye on, as that's going to be the next important information in this whole process.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the initial place to look at is the Dragon's Lair itself. That's not going to be closed for another 8 weeks, something like that, as that transition happens. And we are, whilst we have good ideas, we are still trying to, tie it down, make it concrete, and then deliver that out to the Dragon's Lair, in terms of, announcements. Now, we do know that once the snapshots are taken and we're ready to do the reimbursement, then we will do an AMA on the Dragon's Lair, where we will be inviting anybody to come up to the stage and basically batter us if that is what they require, to ease their own conscience, to ease their own tempers, or whatever it may be. But bear in mind, we're not there to be abused, and we will answer any questions in the best way we possibly can. It's all about honesty at the end of the day. We have to be transparent, as we always have been within Dragon's Lair itself. So it'll be Dragon's Lair, I'll probably back some announcements up in the Emporium and Twitter, no doubt. I mean, Dragon Slayer's got a presence on Twitter, or X as it's called nowadays. So that's where this principally is going to come.
Brilliant. Fantastic. So that's, I mean, even with what you were just saying there, Wayteller, in crypto as a general rule, it always is never invest what you can't afford to lose. So,
Yeah.
you know, although things haven't worked out, that's always a general rule. So if there are people that have come in and they have done certain things, obviously you do want the most from a project you go into. You do want the best, as would anyone. But at the end of the day, this is still crypto. And that is generally the reasoning that any reasonable investor should have when going forward, in any project.
Ultimately, any project, certainly on Discord, that's selling NFTs for crypto is a startup. And, you know, as we are very well aware, most startups fail, you know.
Yeah. And that's not me like making excuses for anything. That's just me being frank with everybody who's listening and saying we all know that's how it works. So for anyone who is hostile or wants to be upset, it's really a decision that any financial decision shouldn't be taken lightly, and never invest what you can't afford to lose in that sense as well.
Certainly.
But
just to add to that, one thing I will say is in regards to the Horde of the community in Dragon's Lair, from my interactions with them, with everybody there, definitely seem to be a mature attitude in terms of their emotional responses and in terms of their engagement. So, whilst I am sure people are upset and will be upset, I think that ultimately everybody does understand exactly the point you're just making. That,
I mean, I've been in projects where they just literally stop dead.
Yep.
And no one gets any refund, no one gets anything. It's just absolute like chaos. But this isn't the case with this project. You know, there's a valuable effort of trying to get everyone back there, as much funds as you can. And it's even turning into something now. So it's evolving into something.
Precisely.
Which I think is amazing.
Precisely. Yeah, that is exactly what should happen. You know, there is a continuum of creation, that happens here. And indeed, you know, within the entire NFT and crypto world. And that's what we should be doing. We should just be all pressing forward as best as we can.
I feel like I should just say after my after my speech, nothing we say is financial advice on this show. So anybody listening, you know, I just thought we would cover ourselves there. Yeah, no, but it sounds great. At least it's going into something, you know, which is much better than something just shutting down for good. Which is a shame that, like, in a lot of projects, because there was a few projects that I went into, and even though they shut down, it would be nice if there was even an effort to go into something different rather than just shut something down, because some of these projects build a valuable community, you know, and obviously being able to transition into something is quite valuable, but also keeping everybody's trust, which when you do, because there was only one project I was ever in, and they reimbursed everyone the same way you guys are doing it. And they were a great dev team. They were a fantastic project. You know, they tried, and it was actually from a failed project. So there was a failed project. These guys decided to start another project to try and give back to the people that lost money in that project.
Mm-hmm.
And then that didn't work out as good as they hoped it would, but they tried. And then they ended up giving it back to everybody what they could, and then doing it that way. But at least there was an attempt there, you know?
Yeah,
so, yeah,
exactly. I mean, I can only say that if anybody does want to stay involved with the ethos behind Dragon's Lair, then they should definitely join the Emporium. And because that will be continued in that manner. the same transparency, the same honesty, and the same approach to moving forward and keeping things going.
Fantastic. Is there going to be like a new roadmap at some point?
The Emporium roadmap is what it is.
Okay.
As I said, it's a slow burn project so far. I mean, no doubt that we would have a separate discussion about this perhaps on a separate occasion, but the Emporium has managed to publish 2 books so far this year. There'll be 2 more books coming out next year, possibly with a 3rd one coming out on a different subject. And all of these create NFTs that can be bought, and that feeds back into the creative manifestation of new narratives, new mythologies, and indeed new understanding of, life, the universe, and everything, to quote a very great man.
Fantastic. So it's only one. So from what I'm sort of seeing, there's only a segment of this. There's only a segment that's sort of disappearing, isn't there?
Yeah, it's the mechanics of the NFTs that is disappearing.
Right.
Because that was the basis of Dragon's Lair, where it was basically the Horde would invest and the project itself would give have a participatory response, shall we say.
Right.
And that would keep it going. But without the NFTs, it bleeds dry. It's as simple as that. So we might as well cut to the quick and return as much of the SGB as possible, and see if that transition can work.
Well, all the best with everything. I'm not sure if any of the other posts had any questions.
I think my last question was, is there any sort of time frame for when, I'm not sure if you did give anything out, but is there any sort of time frames as to when you're going to be redistributing the funds and stuff?
Until the end of December, I can guarantee that the funds will be distributed to all the investors. And honestly, I would do it right now just to get this weight off my back. But it's not possible because we still have delegations. We still have tokens from Enosis like XFi and SFIN that we need to swap. We are accruing some rewards on the governance page, so everything is going to be swapped into SGB. Then some wallets that we have, because we have like 6 main wallets. Some of the wallets are being drained into the one that we call the Dragon Horde wallet. And that Dragon Horde wallet is the one that is going to basically accrue the total amount of SGB that we have in our vaults, and it's going to be distributed. I'm as probably as I said before, me and Taylor, we said, okay, let's do this in a calmly way. Let's do step by step so we don't end up messing up. It's clearly not our objective. We want to do everything as righteous as possible. I'm still just building things in my house, so I'm honestly I'm super tired. I was working since like 9 a.m. today in construction on my house, and I stopped at 6 o'clock. I had dinner, and I'm here. So, and I have all of this work, but I'm taking time to do a little bit every week related to the Dragon's Lair in a way that I can sit on my laptop, just focus on what I am doing and not fuck up, pardon my Japanese, because exactly my goal is that I'm righteous to everyone in the community, because without the community there was no Dragon's Lair, and I feel it's my mission to just be as righteous as possible to everyone and do things the way that I always have done since the beginning, because Dragon's Lair was a project that basically started on the background for like 9 to 10 months before we even opened the door. So we had a lot of meetings, a lot of conversations, just to do the tokenomics, to stipulate what we wanted to do. So basically those 9 to 10 months of preparation to open Dragon's Lair, it's the same thing that I'm doing with the Teller now. It's just keep at least a window of 2 months approximately. It is November 9th. So I hope that in the beginning of December, we can have the SGB returned to all of the investors. If not, it's on the 10th of December. But my guarantee is that until the end of December, I want to get this over with and alleviate a little bit of my back, because this is just being like a little bit of a burden, knowing that I have the funds and I just want to send them to everyone and breathe and say, okay, mission accomplished. And if there are people happy, good. If there are people that are not happy, I can only apologize, but it is what it is. So I'm trying to, with the guidance of Teller also, just to do everything, manage everything in a calm way and focused.
Well, thank you very much for coming on tonight, Draco. And yeah, once again, apologies it's all ended up like this, but at least you're here telling everyone and updating everyone and keeping everyone in the loop and the picture. Everybody out there, if you like the spaces, please share, please subscribe, please write some comments. If there's any questions of Draco, if you want to type out some questions, or if you want to come up to the panel and have a question with Draco, please put your hand up. Our spaces are recorded. They will be going on our YouTube channel. Please go and have a little look at some of our other shows where we do deep dives into all XRPL projects and other projects. I don't believe we've got any questions. There's no hands up. So, Live Free, did you want to close it down?
Sure, absolutely. Guys, we have one of our members who wrote, NSCV, who wrote a little bit of poetry for this project, and for this space. He's calling it Lures of an Eternal Dragon. To breathe blazing flames, to play freezing games, hoard of gold I lay claim. I, he who owns the flame, I fret not at dreams that came. I see they are all the same. I hold thoughts both lively and grim. I see light both brilliant and dim. I see the flow of nature's beauty. I fear not the vast eternity. I am both chaos and serenity. I hold and see both length and brevity. I dwell on the abyss of moonless day. I walk in endless paths, in a lightless way. I have truly played today with both sadness and glee. I saw the beauty of chains that truly dances free. I embrace nature's eternal rhythm and flow. I have eaten moons and robbed them of their glow. I have seen countless civilizations fall and grow. I am a myth to those eyes who do not truly know. My sparkling treasures are given. Would thy heart say no? My riddles of greed are here. What would thy mind do? To those who seek power and luck, I am a paragon of compassion. To the world of flames, I am thy eternal dragon. Lures of an Eternal Dragon by NSCV. Alright, this show was sponsored by FusionXIO.com, a premier permissionless NFT platform where you can mint and sell NFTs in any of the over 54,000 coins on the XRPL. We now have the capability to see 3D and will soon be able to see augmented reality NFTs. And to mint the new dynamic NFTs, that's available right now. So soon also you'll be able to, where you need to go to get the future YEM Part 1 and 2 rewards. The current YEM Infinity has already gone out this morning, so check your wallets. Remember, to be able to unlock the yield earning mechanism, you will need to own at least one XIO, and the amount of YEM Infinity reward depends on the amount of XDX you own. Thank you for joining us today and learning about Dragon's Lair and their evolution. As they say, one door closes and another door opens for them. If you have any questions, please reach out to them, and also please follow all speakers here. Please don't take anything we say as financial advice. Do your own research. With that said, we bid you farewell and hope you join us again next week for another deep dive into the blockchain world. This show is recorded, so if you missed a part of it, you can go back and listen to the show. Please share and have a beautiful day, and maybe we can get a goodbye roar from Draco. What do you think, Draco? Give us a goodbye roar.
Guys, I just want to thank you for inviting me to come here. This basically was like a pre-AMA on Dragon's Lair Discord, where I hope that a lot more people show up and they come to the stage with questions. Thanks so much for the kind words that you have showed here to me when it comes to this matter. Thank you so much, really. I appreciate it. Also, I wanted to ask if it's possible for anyone to send me that poem via DM. And until then...
There we go. That earned you a free poem.
Good night, everybody. Thank you very much for coming out. See you next week.
Good night, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. See you later. Bye.